This is Higginmeister's Writing Project. We are finding the reasons for writing. This is episode 2. Today our topic is ideas. Where, oh where, do we get ideas? Sometimes when that blank page is looking straight at us and we're trying to write, that can get in the way. And so we need to get ourselves off the page and look out into the world around us, because all of our ideas either come from the world around us or the world inside of our brain, and sometimes a mix. My opinion is that every square inch of this universe, whether small things or big things, can be the beginning of a great story. Now here I'm talking about stories like fiction stories that are just pure invention. That's the stories I enjoy writing quite a lot. And so we're going to be talking about that kind of story. Later on, we're going to go into real life story. In fact, telling your real life stories and the real things that happen to you can be very, very fun. It can also be very powerful, and it's also fun to share with your family, because you can say, hey, here's what I did. It's kind of a fun moment. I wrote it down, and you can share it, and so that's great too. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're talking just about the fiction side of it. And when you're looking for an idea for a made-up, invented story, you need to find your idea somewhere in the universe, which means you can look pretty much anywhere, because every square inch of the universe is the beginning of a great story. You just got to find it, pull it out, and then grow it like a seed growing into a plant. Okay? Today I'm going to demonstrate that. I want to show you the process that my brain goes through when I'm looking for a story. And by the way, just about anywhere you go, you can find an idea. I was driving along in my garbage truck, and yes, I drive a garbage truck, and I was thinking about this idea of the universe is full of ideas for stories, and I thought, oh, is that true? I mean, we got to prove it's true a little bit, and so I thought, okay, let's test it. And I was just driving through a cul-de-sac, picking up garbage can after garbage can after garbage can. Not very fun, but definitely a good place to think. And I said, okay, I'm going to choose something and see if I can pull a little story out of it, like the beginning of a story. So on a cul-de-sac where there's garbage cans, there's also mailboxes, which I definitely want to not hit with my garbage truck. So I'm avoiding the mailboxes. And I said, okay, the mailbox, I'm going to have the mailbox be the beginning of my story. I just chose the thing. And I thought for a little while, and I thought for a little while, and I thought, okay, well, what in real life, what does a mailbox get used for? It gets stuffed with mail every day, right? You want to send a letter, you stuff it in there. The mailman comes and stuffs letters in there, and so it constantly is being loaded and unloaded with mail. And so I did what you guys do all the time, which is I kind of wondered, what if things were a little bit different? What if a mailbox wasn't just a tin box that you stuff letters into? What if mailboxes could be alive? Okay, that's the beginning of an idea. If they were alive, then some mailman or some house resident would stuff something in their mouth every single day. And I imagine, well, what would it be like if I had something stuffed in my mouth like that? I wouldn't be able to talk, and it'd be kind of somewhat irritating. And so if the mailbox was alive, I don't know that it would want to be stuffed full of mail. Maybe it's like some of those toy stories. The toys come alive at night, and none of the humans really know about it, but they do come alive. Maybe it's like that kind of story. Okay, so the mailbox come alive, and I don't know, there's a whole bunch of mailboxes on the street. Maybe they, jump around and dance, or maybe they fight or in the night, or I don't know what they do, because I don't know what the personality is, but they're alive. Now, a mailbox that was alive has to keep the secret from the mailman. It has to keep the secret from everyone in the cul-de-sac. And so what would they want to make sure doesn't happen? Well, they don't want to get discovered. Well, if someone stuffs mail in your mouth and you accidentally swallowed it and the mail disappeared, do you think someone would notice? Kind of seems like they might. So maybe the number one rule for the mailboxes is don't swallow the mail. Otherwise they'll know something's up and they'll start to look closer. So maybe this story is about a mailbox who accidentally swallowed the mail. Could have a whole bunch of trouble. I don't know. I'm just thinking about one item and just kind of pulling on that item and pulling on that item until I find something that might be a story. There might be a little story here. Now, you could take that story and take it in one direction. I might take it another direction. In fact, all 1,000 of us might take the same idea and write it into a completely different story. And that's kind of some of the fun of it. That's the idea can just unfold in different directions depending on what's inside your own brain. Do you see how I did that? You see how I took something very simple, mailbox, and just asked some what if questions. What if this were true? How would that make a story? Oh, what if this happened? How would that create an interesting situation? You see, the universe is full of ideas. You just got to grab one and pull on it and catch them on paper before they get away, because they get away really easy. But if you catch them, then you got them, and you can do anything you want with them. Okay, action point for today. I want you to take my mailbox idea. Yeah, you can have it. You can take it. And I want you to turn it into a fun story. If you want to draw a little with it, that's no problem. If you want to write, that's the main idea. I want you to tell it as a story. Like, think of the storybooks that you've read. Once upon a time, there was a mailbox who swallowed the mail. And I want you to take it. And I want you to see what you can write. Ask the what if questions. That'll help. But most of all, make sure you have fun.